I'll start talking. All right. Well, thanks for the opportunity to raise this. So I was speaking with Tim the other day and wanting to help contribute to the whole performance improvement aspect. And I can't write code, but I can help drive things at least. And we identified this epic to that I can help look at. And essentially what we want to do here is so all of the page specific files kind of like add up to roughly 0.5 meg, and we want to break them down into separate includes so that they're only included by on each specific page, instead of all of them included as a whole bundle. Now, what we're looking to do is establish a pattern for one page that we can then put forward as an example, and then so I can create issues for all of these pages, and then farm out the effort to the broader front end team to help collaborate on this. So similar to like to how you guys went about converting the comma test to jest, like just create a whole bunch of issues, and but what I really want to do is provide a sample example of one of these. And I haven't discussed this with anybody, so what I really am hoping to get out of this session is what are the things we should look at? What does a good approach look like? What are the gotchas we need to watch out for? Like, for instance, how something might be reused on multiple pages, even though it's already put in a specific page. So how can we kind of like mitigate the risk of breaking something by removing it from this bundle and so on? So one thing that I, for instance, spoke to Tim about was visual regression testing, and he shared with me a tool that he wrote, I think GitLab Screener or something like that it's called, and how you can set that up. And so these are all kind of like pieces of the puzzle that I've got together. And my next step is to kind of like get to, like what is the plan of how we're going to go and execute on this. So that's at a very kind of like high level, the requirement. And so, like I said, my hope for this discussion is brainstorming with you all to come up with what is a good approach to take, and then putting that forward as a sample plan of action that I can put in all the issues that team members can then follow and jump on.
Yeah. So this was actually a surprise to me. I thought that we loaded these. I thought these page-specific files were only loaded on the page.
No, they are all loaded application.scss. I can confirm because we have a lot of mixing and side effects going on. I was dealing with this recently, actually. That's why. And maybe we should start the conversation how we effectively test that whatever we touch, we are not like generating a ripple of side effects everywhere, right? So for example, I'm afraid that the first time we move away project.css SAS file on its own folder, a lot of places that are implicitly receiving that CSS would not receive it anymore, and stuff may go a little bit wrong.
Okay. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. So do we have anything set up where we're also just import the specific page when we hit the specific page? Like, so are we technically importing it twice? Like, if we go to if we go to this issue or this epic, are we loading issues as well, or is it always all in application CSS? We only have one only one CSS file that we load. Can we hit the network tab and see what CSS files we're loading?
Well, maybe I should stop sharing my screen. I'll let you all drive because
I can drive if you want.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll just share the link on Slack again.
Some agile people suggest having the.
Okay.
Oh yeah, cool. Some agile people suggest having the less experienced person drive. But Jean, if you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm not trying to say that you're less experienced, but you did say you couldn't code, so I was like, hey, this is a great time for us to code through Jean. I know you can code. I'm just giving you a hard time.
How do you know I can code? Have you seen me code?
I believe you can code, John. Hey, Jose.
Hello.
Hi. So this is interesting.
You might need to refresh the page, you think?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Well, maybe it was filtered on XHR. Okay, cool.
You're right. It's just one big. Oh man.
Yeah, that's a sprockets for you.
So we don't. Okay.
Nope.
So the goal could be. So here's the situation. We could just clean it up and be like, okay, let's move some of these classes to utility classes. Just try to just get rid of some of these files. That could be one part of the goal. The other side could be, well, how can I load page-specific styles and specific pages?
We need Webpack for that.
You need
but there is a problem, right? We don't have, not all the pages are served by the index.js page. Isn't that correct?
Well, what we can do is work on every single page that is loaded by index.js. And for emails, we can just leave the sprockets, do the work. After all, emails, they just have a tiny amount of CSS, so I don't see a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we should start focusing on moving everything to Webpack, but that's another matter entirely because we need to clean up a lot of CSS.
Yeah.
And what about shared CSS? Because we definitely have some shared stuff, right? It's not
Yep.
an application. Well, let's.
Yeah, just the other day or just yesterday, I saw something really weird where there's a merge request about removing some opacity got applied to the merge button when it was disabled, so you couldn't really see it. And I was like, okay, I just want to make sure when we change the CSS, nothing breaks. So I like right-click to inspect element and see, okay, what's the rule here? Well, this rule was like being applied in some project buttons and some stat links or whatever. I was like, what? Over in our projects page, we're extending button. And I have a button rule over in merge requests. And yeah, now that we're talking about these pages all talking to each other, it's like, oh gosh. So yeah, so the options that come to mind is, okay, let's just try to remove page specific styles. And we don't need to necessarily move these things over to their own file for us to do that. We just need to try to delete some page specific styles. Try to minimize this. Yeah, like we could just try to minimize that as much as possible. Yeah, just exactly, Nico.
No, actually, that can be done. That's fine. That's my page.
The other thing though, and if we could get this to work, like would be a lot less work, is if we can get these specific page styles to load on specific pages.
Can we scope them with the import flows? I don't remember.
I think that's the intention of what that Epic kind of like suggests we do, is to only load a specific page's styles on that page. The gotcha with that could be is another page might be dependent on a page specific style that's been defined inadvertently. And so just making sure that we don't introduce regressions if we can like test for that up front would be useful.
Yeah, there is not just dependency. There are styles that override each other's, and they are kind of built one on top of each other because of how the selector works. So I think I have an example here in settings and settings CI/CD. These two files, this will override a piece of the stuff that is coming from settings, right? And alone it won't work. So it's not just the coupling. We will also need to like identify shared parts and come up with a hierarchy system if we don't want to duplicate it.
And that's a good point, Nico. I think what we couldn't also do, looking at some of these style sheets, we could use to our advantage. when some of these, the fact that they're all loaded by default right now, meaning that we can even like, if we realize, okay, 90% of this file is, this only shows, this selector only shows up on this page. Let's just move the other bits over to like another file, like, and then let's just, and
like a big chunk of shared stuff that it's harder to extract, and then we can process that.
Yep. That might be a good iterative way to do it. But the big missing piece to me is I don't know how to load page specific styles, because this sounds like a Rails thing. And
no, we can skip Rails and go in our JavaScript pages file here.
Relying on Rails, like Nico says, we can do what?
And here we can just import CSS with the webpack loader.
Yes, that's my recommendation.
Yeah,
that's my recommendation as well.
Can we do it right now?
It depends if we have the loader in
we don't have the no.
Yeah. No, I don't think. I think this is gonna be. This is the ideal, but I think it's gonna be really hard.
No, why do you say this is hard? Question, because the loader is very straightforward, right? It's just one install and one row.
But we have to load, like, our CSS gets hashed, like, because Sprockets is building the CSS. Webpack isn't building the CSS. So it's like we need to make Webpack build everything, and we're not. I guess do we want Webpack to? Do we want to import the SCSS and just have Webpack build it? Maybe that's the thing we should do.
It will also be a step towards like our modern SPA work, right? Everything is dealt through Webpack, and it could be another delinking or stuff from Sprocket that also give us some headaches here and there, right?
Okay. Does Webpack have an SCSS loader where you?
Sure, of course. Sure.
So maybe that's what we need to do, is just start working on this Webpack SCSS loader. That might be cool.
There's one thing that, well, there's one concern that I have with Webpack loader, and it's not related to this work, but rather CI, because we have some issues compiling Webpack assets in GitLab Omnibus, where Webpack consumes a large amount of memory, and we ran into a couple of situations where I think it goes beyond 8 gigabytes a couple of times. So
wow.
Omnibus might get blocked. So if we start working on this, let's contact the people at Omnibus and tell them, hey, we're changing Webpack to load CSS now. If CI fails, let us know, because otherwise we're gonna block a release from getting out there.
So, but currently it's reaching 8 gigabyte Webpack alone, just for the index.js files?
Yeah, it has happened with just JavaScript. I'm not sure what's going to happen when we start loading CSS.
No, well, in that case, we need to actually go specify the news node SAS. It's a little bit faster than SAS on its own. And
it'd be great.
Yeah.
If we can figure out a way to split this work the same way we do with Jest. Like split the JavaScript and the SAS thing, but I'm not sure if that's possible.
You mean when you say split the JavaScript and the SAS thing, do you mean splitting up, importing this from Webpack and making these SAS optimizations, or?
What I'm thinking is, if we can, but I don't think we can because it's part of the production build, is have Webpack do JavaScript in one job in CI and SAS in another job.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Maybe we can do that, right? Can't we have two different Webpack configurations?
I don't know.
That only has the SAS rules?
It's called Webpack. I think it packs all of the web. So I don't know if you can, because it's just one entry point. It's just, hey, run Webpack, and I don't.
But it can produce multiple assets.
What'd you say?
It will produce different assets. So definitely the SAS files, they are going to become CSS chunks.
But those outputs, like those file paths, those get written to the JavaScript. Like it's all copied.
Oh, for the import, yes.
Yeah,
you're right.
So I don't think you can split up the Webpack job. But certainly it's not going to take any more time than, I think we'll be fine. It's not going to take any more time than Sprockets is going to do for its thing. Hopefully not. And I can think JavaScript is going to be way more beefy than doing our Sass, because we have so many node modules that it has to go through and pack together. That's where I think that size is coming from.
And we can maybe start with, so the Sass does a lot of optimization production mode, and we can start by turning off some, right? Like dead CSS elimination, minification, it does optimization on the attributes order, it does a lot. Yeah, and you can turn them off and turn them on one by one and see what helps us.
I think we got to go for it. It's been too long. We gotta get these in Webpack. Let's try it out.
You wanna run this?
I can, yeah, if you want to.
No, I can do it. No,
oh, yeah.
I meant this, like, shall we do it?
No, I thought that maybe you're nervous about installing a node module.
No.
And I get it. I'm like, I don't want to install node modules.
Also, there's one thing that I like to propose, because at the very least, people should know their CSS. At least each team should know what CSS they're working on. Because I was working on removing utility classes, and not to blame anybody or anything, but we do some ugly things on the issuable and merge request page, where inside the merge request CSS, we're overriding the utility classes to do margin 0 instead of the margin that they're supposed to do. And then we're rolling back again on the same CSS file because it's not the same level.
Yeah.
So if we can have the teams clean up their CSS a little bit, each team, that should help us a lot.
I mean, we could also like go the other way around and say, CSS is deprecated in the code base, and from now on you just use GitLab UI utility classes. And it's not impossible.
We try to promote that as much in code review as possible.
Yeah.
I think it's gotten a little tough that we should try to do utility classes as much as possible. It's a little tough to say we have to do GitLab UI utility classes, since there are some gaps of what we may need and what's available there. But I like the approach of, let's just add to our local utilities file and then promote up, like, so that helps us be iterative and then have good velocity, I think.
And it's totally possible. So before you saw me jokingly deleting the container registry CSS, right? But I actually need to do that because that CSS is not used at all. There's just utility classes and the page is fine.
Oh, nice.
And the designers are happy with it. So it's achievable.
There you go. Well, we took the first step today of deleting.
Delete that.
Yeah, do it. No, I like that we're talking about getting Webpack going on in here. Some things I looking ahead, I know that we're gonna need.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
So we.
Yep.
Yeah, you just add a rule, man.
Yeah, it's fine.
Rule.
Yeah. I'm just checking what we have here. I think we go right after CSS, huh?
That makes sense. So, but something I was going to say is we might need to, right now, application.scss is our only entry point, and it contains some things that our page bundles actually need, like variables or whatever. So what we'll need to do probably is also abstract out what is our entry point SCSS look like, and when we have a page bundle we're going to import this way, we need to make sure it imports that entry point, those variables, whatever else it needs. In the same way.
I mean, can't we do this step by step and leave application as it is, just remove the pages that we are able to, like, we scrape a page, put it away?
Well, I'm saying that
fix it.
Some of our page bundles are not built, some of our page specific styles are not buildable on their own, because we have variables that are importing from applications. So I'm not saying, yeah, let's leave applications as it is, but we're going to have to share something with applications. And yeah, no, I agree. So cool. We got style loader, CSS loader, Sass loader going. So let me ask you another question. This is running on our page Java. Like we're going to import this from our page JavaScript. Is that going to insert how, because Webpack isn't building our HTML. How does Webpack going to add a link or a link to our compiled CSS file? Does it do it inline in the JavaScript?
It depends on the output. I think, at least from my experiments locally, you can configure the Sass loader to output CSS files. But I'm not sure if you can have the. I think you can have the Sass loader bundle the files together with JavaScript. So you will have a bunch of CSS at the top of the JavaScript file.
And this is how it is because we're using style loader, right? So if they go bottom up, the loader, so it passes to Sass, transform to CSS, and then this is going to slam it in the JS. So basically increasing the JS performance. This is not ideal, right? But it can be your first start and then move on, right? The problem here is that you're killing the caching system, because every time you touch the JavaScript, the CSS will need to be updated by the browser and similar, and the other way around, right?
Will it? Maybe.
So, but
let's test it out. I'm excited to see it. Let's try it out.
So if I save this config, bam, and geez, I hope right here didn't change the whole file here now. What if we just generate a dummy CSS with the background red, body background red, and try to import it on a page? Just
freaking love that idea.
Yep.
That's a great idea. This is important.
And then, I don't know, which page can we, maybe on project. Oh, my GTK is off, of course.
Let's try it on merge requests, or maybe, do we have project specific page? I guess we do. Yeah, to do on project, that makes sense.
I mean, we can go JavaScript. Otherwise, I can do it on the container registry that I know the page. Up to you. Project. There should be an index, right?
Oh boy.
There you go. Oh, yeah. It's here. So here we can go import. I guess we do dot slash. One more. Suggest me. Yes. Style sheet. Test.scss.
There we go.
We also do probably GDK, tail, webpack. I pulled master.
Do you use tmux, Nico?
No.
Okay. You should check it out, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's like it's some keyboard shortcuts for splitting and navigating across multiple terminal windows. Cool. Yeah, it's really helpful. So I usually have like one. I have a couple that like we're running different tails, and then I have like one that I'm running commands on or something. It was super helpful when we had GDK, EE, and CE split. Like,
I do work with by doing this, opening a new terminal here and then closing it, but you know, it has its extra cost, I guess.
Yeah. I have
of course.
Yeah, I think it's doing stuff. I have a to-do to create a skill sharing on tmux. I haven't done it yet.
Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Oh, What? Unknown word? I think we did a mistake.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Yeah.
CSS syntax error, which maybe
I think our loader is not being recognized. Do we have a different dev config for Webpack?
Are we running, instead of running sass-loader, do we need to run, like, is it scss-loader, or are we sure it's sass-loader?
Yeah, it's the same, definitely. But do we have the style loader? Because I see that we're using view style loader, and now I got concerned. Do have dependencies? Styling, no. So we don't have the sass loader.
I hate to jump off the call that I introduced the topic for, but unfortunately I have another call.
No, don't worry about it. Yeah.
Thanks for looking into this. If you guys wouldn't mind just maybe dropping a link to the recording and some key takeouts in that epic as a comment, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Thanks, John.
Awesome.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Thanks very much.
And I'm excited about the future. All right.
Awesome.
See you later.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Should we just so let's see if Rails started with his migration and things. What? I did migrate.
I think the migrations failed. That's another problem.
Really?
Yeah, I think your database is, well.
I should have run GDK update here, but yeah.
I only run GDK update like once a quarter, maybe.
Like go down a little bit on the GDK tail. Caused by feature not supported.
Here it
is. Yeah, that's your database. Your database got corrupted.
That's not good.
Right. It's gonna work. Please work.
Worst case scenario, we'll just have to rebuild it, but that's gonna take like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I can't rebuild my DB because I have stuff for testing the container registry. It takes a lifetime to set up everything proper.
Yep. No, that's real. I naively did this where I was like, oh, something's not working. I'm going to just, redo the GDK and remove my old one. And I realized, oh no, all of my test data and like configuration stuff is gone.
Not nice.
Yeah, I should have created some sort of seed for it. Anyways, this can take a little bit of time. Do you want to pass the ball and maybe send a patch of what you have so far?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's see. Of course, now we can't because the GDK updates stashed everything and moved me to master.
But you've got some package JSON and some Webpack config changes.
Yeah.
Could we get a?
Yeah, we need to look at this stash.
You stashed it. Oh, because you did GDK update. No.
Yeah. Should we bear with it 5 seconds, and then as soon as if it's not working, I apply the stash and send over the patch.
You can patchify a stash like on a separate terminal if you want to. Like you have a ref to it.
But if I move it now, I will disturb GDK update, right?
No, I'm not saying pop the stash. You can just how do you view ref of a stash? That's what I'm looking up. You can use Git to view the ref of a stash. Stash list. Do Git stash list. It's 2 words. Sorry.
No problem. I don't know why. I know that Git works with single command, but I was going. This is the ref.
Yes, a stash 0. You can say git stash show and use that one, and you should show all the things.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and now how do you use llama patch from here?
The latest stash you created is stored in ref stash. Okay, yes, do this. Do git format patch dash patch. I think format patch is actually a dash. Yeah. And then do -1, and then just one dash, and then the number 1.
One. Did this?
No,
No, the number 1. Okay.
And then you can do ref/stash. It looks like this holds your last stash, and I think it'll be good. Yep. Let's try it out.
Just this?
Yeah, let's try it out. Yeah.
There we go.
Is it empty? What?
Mm-hmm.
That's garbage. Okay.
Yeah, the GTK doctor just finished and it failed.
Yeah,
That's your
right.
database.
So we know what Nico's going to be doing for the rest of the day.
No, luckily my day is over. What I'm gonna do Monday morning. Okay,
I know,
cool.
I know.
Let me move back to that branch. We don't care about GTK. We do apply the stash.
Oh, it looks like you can use stash show -p. If you -p, I think gives you a patch version of your stash. If you
can move this. Well, now I have stuff unstaged, and I can do like this.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah. I'm getting more and more into UI, so it's bad, maybe, but that's how it goes recently. I become how's it called?
Do you want to drive, Jose, or do you want to?
Let me just close some tabs and also.
Okay.
So I'm sending the patch to Jose. Mm-hmm.
You can also just attach it to our Zoom, not our Zoom chat. I mean our Slack thread on front-end pair programming.
Do we have a thread on front-end pairs? That's no, we don't. But I'm gonna make one.
You can just. We have a channel front-end pairs, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Oh, okay. But we don't have a thread for this one?
No.
Oh, yeah. I must have. Some weeks I ping it on front-end pairs, and some weeks I ping it on front-end.
Right?
Yep. And then the path to the patch file.
I totally forgot. So
usually it has like a or what did you call it?
scss-loader patch.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Nice. Okay.
Okay. So git apply scss-loader patch.
Sweet. We are in.
There we go.
All right.
I was looking at the application.rb, and it was one thing. I mean, it's cool. It's dark mode. I like it, but we're still adding more CSS to the application.rb sprockets file.
Yep, it's going.
So it's stuff that we need to look at for. I'd say is the dark mode, the print mode, because we do support print, and the mailer modes. Oops. Also, until we discontinue the ACE editor, we're still gonna need to include this thing.
The good thing is that if we move everything to, especially this like utility-specific CSS, right? Like ACE, you could load ACE only in the page that we are loading ACE, like the CSS, and it's something that we could do fairly confident.
I think we actually do that with ACE. So I think this is just setting what are we going to pre-compile, so that on first request we're not waiting for everything to compile. This is on boot up. What do we pre-compile on our server? I believe. Does that make sense?
Well, this is also where we configure Webpack, because we're basically telling the asset pipeline for Rails, hey, we're not using sprockets to compile all of our JavaScript. We're using Webpack, and this is the output file and everything.
Right. Yep. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, that's right. We're using the sprockets Webpack thing. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. I really want to see if this works. So we just...
let me start loading the GTK status. GTK start.
Side note,
You,
have you guys ever run into like Rails background jobs issues with the GDK?
yeah,
Yes.
yes, mine fails all the time.
What you can do if you run into problems, you can run the background job manually by just doing. Well, I'm currently in the GitLab directory, so just one directory up, services. You can say Rails background jobs, and you can just execute and run one
manually.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, you can run it manually.
Okay, cool.
Let's
I run into this all the time. And I hopped on a call with Ash yesterday about it. And it was the one time it was working. And I was like, man, this isn't helpful.
Check it, the tail for Webpack.
Oh, to see if Webpack is happy?
Yeah.
Failed to compile.
No.
Can resolve test.scss.
Did the patch apply it? Or maybe no, because it was a new file. That is need to create it.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it was an app, assets, JavaScript.
No, style sheets.
Style sheets. Okay.
And it was just the top level folder.
Top of the folder?
Yeah, it was just here.
And
background color.
Sorry, it's just that having to use two keyboard layouts, it just trips me out sometimes.
Why do you use to keep for special character in Spanish? Or?
Yeah, and also because I grew up with the Spanish keyboard layout, and swapping to the English one trips me out a little bit.
Yeah, that is going to be trippy.
I get upset when I pass from the UK to the US layout, so I can understand. Two keys are different. Maybe you want to slam an important there just to be sure that our red is going to be visible or something. No, I meant background red important.
Oh, okay.
I know that we should never do that.
Yeah, but this is a test, so.
Yeah.
We probably should also never do background color red.
No, who says that?
I'm so sorry for those who are going to watch the video.
No, you're good, Jose. Yeah, no, the are you guys familiar with the brutalist?
Oh, okay, because we haven't done yarn install.
Yeah,
good call. Are you familiar with the brutalist like design style?
Yeah, but there's nothing.
So I'm not a really good designer, like, but I've worked with UX enough to be like, okay, like this is kind of what UX expects. But whenever I'm like designing my own things, I'm always tend to have this tendency to lean towards this brutalist design because it's like, you know, I'm just gonna try and make it really ugly, and that way it's gonna be pretty.
I think we need to restart the GTK again.
No, it's compiling again.
Oh, okay. Please. Unknown word.
Unknown word. That's weird. Inject styles into style tag. And this might be because Webpack isn't really responsible for everything.
No, but are we actually using the style loader?
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's
check.
Package.json style loader. Yep.
I'm looking up the error right now.
SVG for everybody is like, it's my favorite node module ever now. Could you show again the error there? So CSS syntax error. So it's actually the style loader that is failing. If you check it, if you check the path, style loader this runtime inject styles into style tag. It says var API equal required.
Huh.
Maybe there's another loader that's conflicting with this. Can we check out our config again? So we are saying, hey, oh, check this out. Look at test up there. See how it uses a dot and not an actual escaped dot on line 230?
230?
Yep.
That's going to match SCSS.
Oh.
Oops.
Can we escape the dot?
So
backslash, yeah.
there we go.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a
My
keyboard that's working against you.
So basically that says any character and then CSS. That's what that matcher is matching.
Yep. So let's give it a try.
This means that if you write a JavaScript file called CSS I like you, that rule is going to pick it up because it's under, right?
It did have the ending, like it didn't have the dollar at the end, so it had to end in CSS. Your whole file.
Okay.
But yeah, that was an interesting one. Okay, I'm glad that we somewhat caught it, but I don't have a whole lot of confidence it's going to fix it. But maybe it will.
Please.
Is it doing stuff?
Yeah, it's reloading.
Oh, I see. Have we talked about parcel before?
Maybe.
Not in GitLab context, but just for fun.
I don't think so.
I highly recommend it for any kind of like small project that you don't want to mess with webpack loaders and stuff. Parcel is really cool.
Snowpack is also really cool.
Snowpack, all right, I've only used parcel in webpack. And then like all the gulp and browserify from the.
Oh geez, don't say gulp, please. Now you want to say grant now.
You don't like gulp? I like gulp. You don't like it, man?
I liked when I had to stop piping stuff one inside the other to make my software work.
Oh.
I think it worked. Go to the web page. Show us the page.
Let's reload this.
Be red.
It's not red.
Well, it's the project index, right? It's we have to actually look at a project.
Oh, okay. So let's look at this one.
Oh, God. I'm so nervous.
Oh God, it worked.
Yes, and it's so beautiful.
It's perfect.
It's the most beautiful red you've ever seen.
Can we check out another page just to make sure it doesn't load on a different? Well, I guess we did check out that one, but like,
I can load the metrics one.
Okay, and so we would expect it not to load on metrics.
I hope so. No, it worked.
Do we load projects for all of these things? Maybe we do. Oh,
I think it's because.
Go to groups. Yes, because it's a nested route.
You're totally right. Yeah, so should not load on a group page.
Well, at least this is not. My groups. Okay, so let's just look at one. There we go.
Sweet. Wow. Okay, that's so exciting.
That was basically one single dot to rule them all, huh? On that CSS rule.
Yep. Good find.
Yeah, that was a lucky find. It was really lucky that we put our rule right next to it. Yeah. Okay. So what do we want to do with this?
We need to try to import the variables and see if everything works. It keeps working. So
yeah, we might want to try it with a real page. But I want to look at what is Webpack actually doing. Is it
the assets folder?
If we go to, oh sorry, do you mind if we do a little bit of exploration just on a project page when it actually loads that?
Oh, okay, sure.
I just want to see like, hey, what does our network request look like? Are we inlining the style tag? Like what's going on here?
Okay, let's.
I think we should actually do immediately the effort to pass them to mini-CSS extract. I will send the web page and try to pull it back from. No, that's I think too much of a step. Apologies.
So this is the application one that Sprocket sends.
Mm-hmm.
This is the performance bar.
Check the sources tab. You will find it there. I think.
The what? Sorry.
Just the JavaScript sources tab, not the network. If you go
okay.
to sources, then there is a webpack.
Exits, illustration, snowplow, webpack, chunk, main chunk, pages, projects. Show.
At the beginning, there is or the end there should be your CSS.
Let's see, background.
Round.
Nope.
Because so here's the deal: is we want to somehow get some caching benefit from this. I think somehow we want to separate our CSS from the JavaScript.
Could you go from the elements tab to find where it is? If you go elements and then you
I think
go
that's
to the body.
Yeah.
So
elements.
Oh yeah.
On the body there is the rule, and then.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, we can. Oh, it is an inline style.
Yeah. So.
It's in the head.
It's in here somewhere. Style.
Yeah.
Style. Yeah, here it is.
Maybe we're cool. Maybe we're cool with that.
I mean, it's
one less. It's one less network request.
But we get a flash of unstyled content if we don't move them to CSS statically.
But yeah, and that's what I'm saying is, Webpack we're building this into the JavaScript. Yeah, we're gonna get a flash. I could see that, and that flash actually happened. We saw it where it loaded, and then the background turned red.
Yeah. So we do really need to move them to proper CSS files that can be served by Voodoo at this point.
So yeah, we want Webpack to do this building of it, but then I guess Rails, which is responsible for building the HTML.
But then Rails won't be able to pick it up page by page, right? Unless we use actually the Rails way to do so. You get what I'm saying?
Yes. That's why I kind of wonder if maybe this isn't going to work, which is unfortunate. But it's because my understanding of Webpack is Webpack really needs to do everything. Otherwise, it gets really hard. And since it can't do everything, I don't know if we can get this to work unless somehow we can get Webpack to export some sort of like metadata about the files it's generated, and then
no, we can apply a rule, right? So if we export them as with mini-CSS extract, mini-CSS-extract plugin, right? We can give them a name, right? And so Webpack will call this CSS project.css, right? And put it in the folder that we tell. And now the game is to tell Rails that that's the file that needs to go up when the project page is loaded. Make sense what I'm saying?
Yes, that does make sense. It does mean then that somehow, I guess what we would then do is get rid of the style loader because we don't want to.
Yes, correct. I'm sending something on the Slack chat so we can look at the piece of documentation all together. There you go. Or maybe that's here.
Are we still recording? Okay.
We are still recording. Do you want me?
I sent it in the Zoom chat. It's fine.
Sorry,
Okay.
So we can change this to we can use this actually regardless, right? And then we can use the public path and now this build the stuff to place this in the right folders.
So, okay, public path.
So I guess what's interesting is somehow Rails does know what JavaScript to load from Webpack. And I think that's actually because that comes from this Webpack manifest thing, right? like somehow Rails knows, oh, I need to load these files from Webpack.
Yes, correct. We just need to follow the same rule for the CSS, right? Actually, they should go end in end. Whenever Rails pick up the JS file, entry point JS file, it should also pick up the entry point CSS file for that page, right?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yep.
So somehow we need to make sure that for this page or whatever Webpack's doing, we can get this this manifest thing. So I would look at, I would want to just take an, I think that this answer is going to be wherever in Rails we load the page specific JavaScript bundle, that's going to be an answer for how can we get the page specific style.
And they by naming convention though?
And yeah, I think we can just, I think we can iteratively solve it by convention. It makes a lot of sense. But we want to do, I think it's somehow we need it tied, only because I've had to explore here before. I know that something's going to be tied probably to the Webpack manifest. We do a lot of pinging of this manifest JSON. The Rails, before it loads up before it builds the front end, it actually pings Webpack for, hey, give me the JSON of what files I'm supposed to put in here. And it does some looking of that.
Can we see that?
Yeah, so I would look at, if you do like maybe a project-wide grep of,
we can't see VS Code, just say. Sorry, I probably mispronounced your name. I'm horrible.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Don't worry about it. I always tell people that I can use one of my two names, whichever is most comfortable.
How do you pronounce the second one?
Ivan, like the Russian one.
Okay,
Ivan.
Cool.
Yeah.
Ivan.
Webpack Rails only needs, yeah. Stats writer plugin. Yeah. So check out on the Webpack config.js on 308.
What? There you go.
Yeah. So this plugin, the stats writer plugin, like this is how I guess Webpack is communicating to Rails. These are the files you should load in the HTML. It's through this manifest JSON thing. And so I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see where we actually do that. Like if it's in our page layout or something, where we start calling these things.
Well, don't we use this manifest.json somewhere?
Yeah, we have a helper in our Rails thing, which does yeah. If you check out if you do a command P for Webpack helper.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, over here is where we do we start looking for Webpack entry point paths based on it's over somewhere in here. Yeah, over in line 39, you see we read from the manifest.
Well, would it make sense to enter Rails in debug mode and see what is inside that manifest right now?
I think that's a really good good thing to do. Yes, and then I'm trying to see where do we actually call.
Unless this manifest is actually existing somewhere.
Yeah. So check this out. Oh wait, give me one quick second. Don't check it out yet. Yeah, seeing what the manifest JSON is going to include is going to be really helpful because it might include a CSS. Maybe it includes a CSS file. And if it doesn't, somehow we need to make sure the CSS file shows up there. Because that's how we're going to tell Rails to load it.
Mm-hmm. But we may need the plugin that actually makes them files, non-styles.
Right. And I think that's just a style. I think that might be just style loader. We don't want to get. I think we want to get rid of style loader. You think it's something else?
Yeah, that's for sure. But then we need to tell Webpack what to do with CSS file that he built in memory, right? They need to become a file.
Files. Yeah. Yep. Is there? Okay. Do you know what loader that is?
It's the plugin that I sent in the doc chat before.
Okay, let's do it.
This one.
Yes.
Yeah, let's
So
do it.
it's mini-css-extract-plugin. Okay, let me just. Oh no, what? And if you're wondering, yes, I was playing with Electron the other day. That wasn't a fun experience.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at package.json. There you go.
Yeah.
So let's go to Webpack.
Okay. All right.
So it was
We're interested-
2:30.
What we are interested in going into is in that Webpack helper thing.
No, it's not there. I think you can check the documentation on up to that.
So, okay, we have to import it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're getting pretty close to time.
I have a little bit more of time.
Okay. Can I show you all something after you finish this line, Jose?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. If you do a Command P or do a project-wide search for I'm going to add this to our Zoom chat. Webpack_controller bundle tags. This gets loaded in our head. So for all pages, this is what's loading our Webpack tags. And we get it from the manifest and we look for these entry point paths. But you see, we're just doing JavaScript include tags on line 33. So I think what we want to then do is concat style sheet include tags is what we're going to somehow build here. So this is the gap from what I understand. But yeah, let's see first if we can get in the manifest JSON, then we're really good. And then this is the next part to update.
Yeah.
And then we should be really good. And that's so exciting.
Yep.
Yeah. I have to hop off for a minute. Are you guys still
Yeah, we're okay.
still game? All right, I'm gonna hop off for just a second.
Okay,
All right, thanks.
you got it. So, okay, so to use it,
We need to declare the plugin.
yep. And just gonna put it down here.
Yeah.
And then,
It's like that.
it says so in the documentation.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Cool.
Okay, let's refresh the page. Oh God.
Did Webpack recompile though? Maybe we can check GDK now.
It's still doing its thing. Invalid configuration object. Webpack has been initialized using a configuration object that does not match the API schema. Configuration. This is weird. I mean, it should work.
Yeah.
And I got a message from someone from Slack, but I won't look at it. So, not that I'm disrespecting the other person. It's just that.
Yeah. No, we are recording. It's good. Yeah. That's okay. It's completely okay.
Okay, looks like it worked. So
the red is not there anymore, right?
So let's look at sources. Webpack. So we got a bunch of common chunks.
It seems that it's not outputted at all.
Yep. I wonder if we need to specify oh yes, we actually do. I remember now.
The path?
Yeah.
Well, they should have a default.
Default, the public path is in Webpack options output. Oh, okay. So let's look where we outputting all of this.
Yeah, isn't that in the public folder, by the way?
Public assets Webpack.
Can we check that folder?
Yes. Public. And we will have to compile it for production if we want to see this.
Yeah, otherwise it's all in memory, right?
Yep. I can run it and then I can delete it later.
Yeah, sure. It's not the fastest, but it's not also the slowest, but.
So I don't remember the task.
No, you don't need task. You just need run webpack-prod, webpack-prod. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Like this?
No, remove run dash and write yarn before. It's a script in the package.json.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Yep.
Wait. We're running webpack-prod.
We want to see the public folder because
oh, the manifest JSON folder.
Yeah. Well, the mini-css-loader defaults to outputting all of the data to whatever output the Webpack configuration has. But here's the thing: when you're running in development mode, it doesn't output anything because everything lives in memory.
Right, but you could still probably ping the server. Like it lives in memory, but the server still serves it, right?
Oh, okay. So what was the server?
Do you reach
local,
the server? 3000.
Localhost 30809, I believe. No.
Oh, 8 at the end, I think.
There we go. So it was public assets.
Not there. Isn't this the public folder already?
Yeah, this is. I think this is the whole.
Can you check
GitLab folder? But
what is inside up?
My understanding, and I might be wrong, but my understanding is like, yeah, Webpack doesn't write it to disk because that's slow. It just keeps it in memory, and it'll still serve it up. Like that's why we can run Webpack development mode.
Yeah, but that's we just added a plugin that is actually writing it forcefully to CSS to disk, right?
Oh, okay. Is it, or is it just like letting Webpack handle that file system stuff?
Well.
I don't know. I think if we can't get this to work, I think building in prod is good, but it shouldn't be required. Is like my understanding, but it sounds like a good idea to just figure out what's going on. Yeah, like you could do. Let me see something.
Bit file. Okay. Oh, it's the burrito emoji. I was curious. It's just like, what is this? The old
emoji? Is that an emoji?
Apparently.
Wow.
That's your real favorite emoji.
Why haven't I been using that one?
Burrito.
Hey, just a second. Okay, just contains the app asset now. Only contains the.
Yeah, it just contains a bunch of emoji assets. It doesn't contain the manifest JSON that we're looking for.
So we should have. So you did run Webpack-prod?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you stopped it.
I stopped it. It was my fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and run it. Sorry about that.
That's fine.
No, so my understanding is Webpack Dev doesn't write anything to disk, but you should still be able to hit the URLs, and that's what Rails is doing. I don't know what those URLs are, and I don't think we can necessarily find them from the little file tree that it spits out. yeah, I clearly don't know what I'm doing.
I just don't remember how to clean up the production compile assets later. I'll check it out later because otherwise
Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
clean.
Yarn clean. Thank you. There you go.
Oh man, it's running.
It's running. My CPU is probably flying.
So I never understood this. Like, how can my CPU be at 122%?
I do remember that there was a super cool Stack Overflow answer to this. I just don't remember the specifics.
Sounds like it was good enough to make you not worried about it.
Yeah, it has to do with something regarding how the measurement was done, and apparently you want to have a better understanding, or at least a system that does a better understanding of how the CPU cores were doing it. It was some other utility besides htop, but I don't remember it.
Wow. Yeah, you've got a tab there that just keeps loading. Oh gosh.
It takes 5 minutes.
It takes 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's imagine running this in CI. That's one of the things that the Omnibus team always says to us, that we can find a way to actually make sure Webpack compiles a little bit faster.
Yeah, it hurts, man. Like, we used to do.
Well, we could skip the compilation for some node modules that ship already compiled stuff, right? Don't we?
I don't know.
I imagine we can. Imagine that you could, using hashes of contents, like you could figure out, you can optimize some caching of these are the outputs I expect from these contents. But I don't know. I get kind of sick and tired of how beefy all of the JavaScript ecosystem is.
Oh, maybe it's done. No.
Still going.
Go back to your htop. Do you have 32 gigabytes of memory?
Yes, I do.
Gosh, you rock, man. Yeah, you're already past me. I guess I only have 16 gigabytes of memory.
I mean, how can you even run Chrome?
Obviously.
I had to update my previous laptop because when I joined GitLab back in 2016, I got one of the new Touch Macs, and while it worked perfectly fine, I ran into 3 major issues when working with the monitoring stuff. Since we needed Kubernetes, and we needed the GDK, and we didn't have a GCP project back then, the CPO was always like in a constant state of about to take off. So it caused an issue, which pretty much made the computer unusable because the screen, and I think that was just because the CPU delighted because of how hot it ran.
Wow.
The screen looked like, I don't know, like on the bottom corner where the dock lives, you could see some colors fade out, like dead pixels.
Wow.
So I asked GitLab if they could send me the laptop, and told me, hey, you can keep it, fix it if you can. And I paid for the repairs a little while back. It was like 500 USD.
Oh, wow. Gosh. Oh, it's down. Your memory's going down.
Okay.
That might be done. It took like 2.5 gigs of memory, or something just got majorly garbage collected. So, yeah, I don't know. You and I have talked about demo scene, I think, Nico. Have we talked about demo scene?
I talked about it with a former GitLabber that used to be in Sweden. Well, a former Swedish GitLabber.
It seems so cool. Like, these people do things on old machines and using like as little space as possible. I'm like, man, this is so inspiring. And then you go over to our JavaScript world, and it's like, we're going to build JavaScript, and it's going to take 3 gigabytes of memory. And your node modules is going to be like a gigabyte on its own. And it hurts. I feel like
And then one guy remove left pad from npm and to jumps out of the window.
I know.
I mean, there is, I'd say there is one thing to note about this is that memory nowadays is cheap, but CPU is not, because CPU has to stop having the same advancements that the Moore law said that was going to happen. Like CPU capacity will double each year, but it hasn't. And I think now, because memory is cheap, we can get away with not optimizing for memory and optimizing for CPU time.
So, says the person with the 32 gigabyte.
Well, he just said that memory is cheap, so.
I know. Yeah.
There we go.
Yes.
Yay.
Wow. All right.
Okay,
No,
let's go.
not clear. Don't run yarn clean now.
Yeah, that'd be bad. Don't do it.
I mean, we have a.
After we do this investigation.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so all the chunks are here. But how do we need the chunk for that?
Look at all those chunks.
Public path. So the file name is on CSS. Okay.
Yeah, it's just we can just check if it ends by CSS anything there.
And then we can also look at the I would suggest also look at the manifest.
So
is there a manifest?
There should be a manifest. It's not gonna. You're probably not gonna find it in the fuzzy finder because it's not source controlled.
Oh boy. So
you could find it on,
by a terminal.
Yeah.
So, oops.
Oof.
Come down.
You can run find on the directory. Do find and then the directory that you're looking in.
No, that's public.
And probably just public assets is good, or public is fine. And then I think
let's do public.
And then like -- name, I think, and then I would do like star manifest star. So just anything with manifest in it, maybe.
That matches for wildcard.
Maybe it doesn't want wildcards. I don't know.
Let's do just manifest. Nope.
Gosh, freaking okay.
Let me just do it the old way. Crap.
Oh, it's just a -- name. Sorry, that was my fault.
Oh, okay. So.
Oh, never mind. It might be the wildcard.
Can you do star.css?
Never mind. Forget about it. Thanks.
Nope.
You might need to quote the because I think yeah. I think so.
That's a lot of CSS now.
Yep. And we don't know which one we're looking for.
It should be test, right? Like we called it test or something.
Test. Nothing.
Well, it could very well be in the page though, in the project.css. Right?
Yeah.
So here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So this is interesting. You're right. Because that's a project index.js. And so all of these other project endpoints are going to be importing that one. You know what I mean? So I guess the way this works is it doesn't do it based on the file name that we specified. It probably just does it based on that.
Well, let's check the content of that before assuming that though.
And that's a really good point, but.
Boy.
Can you just cut it on the terminal, maybe? If it's not too big.
I mean,
you can run code on it too to open it up in code.
I'm not sure if I have the helper install code.
Oh, for some reason, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
That's it. That's amazing. So what's really helpful for me is the way it works is it does it by page bundle.
Yes.
Which is interesting. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but that
No,
also
it actually helps us, right? because we can write rules that they're exactly the one that use it to load the JS, because the file is going to be in the exact same path, just instead of .js, .css, right?
Right. The thing that's weird though is, so the way that the page bundles load, the fact with this index, it gets loaded by all project pages. So we duplicated this like a lot.
Did we?
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
and that duplication isn't great, but it could be really cool that like, hey, yeah, I did a specific import here. But now it does kind of feel like we've lost control of maybe some caching benefit.
We can definitely configure this.
But
Yeah.
I think configuring it is what it's going to be. If we go back to our, so we did like this mini-css-extract-plugin thing. I wonder if there's some different ways we can configure the
Yes, module. I mean, not applicate completion.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, advanced configuration example.
It's still a win from what I see. Like, I think we still have a win where we can get rid of our main application CSS.
Oh, I just like, I had a moment. I just like tear in my eye that we can actually have hot model reloading for CSS.
Well, let's see if it actually works. It's gonna work with Webpack, with Rails, though, right?
I mean, it works for JavaScript.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You have to wait a little bit though.
Yeah.
It's kind of like warm module loading.
Can you check everything of those CSS? Because I have the bad feeling that body, background, red, important is in all of them now.
Yep, sure. So I checked. I don't
Check something that is not under projects, like something that is
I
away
don't think
from
so.
projects.
Projects, all of this.
They are all projects. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay,
They're all projects. So even the common pages one is projects feature flags.
Mm-hmm. The only one that looks like it's not projects here is we have a source graph one, and that's doing actual just specific source graph.
Oh, that's right.
That's doing just a very specific source
And
graph.
those are also big. Huh? Aren't those?
Oops.
You're good, man. But yeah, this is a huge step forward. I think it would be. My gut tells me it would be nice to,
You have a double slash at the beginning.
if we didn't have all this duplication, but maybe there's a win here. This is all graph stuff. So,
Yep.
Yeah, but this is a huge win. And now we have this part being generated. We can tie it into that Rails backend helper that I showed you to generate style tags, and then we're good to go. And wow, that's exciting. So cool. This was really helpful and informative, and
Interesting.
Good progress. Would you be up for just creating a work in progress branch with a work in progress merge request?
Yeah, sure. Let me do that.
Okay.
Right now.
Could you ping me on that merge request?
Both of us, please.
Yes,
sure.
That'd be great. And also Jean.
Yeah,
cool.
for sure.
Thanks so much, Jose, and thanks, Nico. And thanks, Jean, for bringing this up.
Yeah, I need to hop off as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, have a great one.